Okay, hi everyone. I'm Fiona. Thank you for that lovely introduction, by the way. That was really kind. Time will tell, right? I'm Fiona. I'm the Global Marketing Director of Todaytix. I'm going to talk you guys through some of the things that we've learned along the way making a top 10 entertainment app. So a little bit about Todaytix. We are a theatre ticketing app. We would have been live about 4 years. We were launched by theatre producers. Our mission is to connect the next generation of culture lovers to theatre. We do that via giving them access to theatre within 30 seconds. We are currently live in 10 cities in both the UK and the US, with New York and London obviously being our biggest territories, with the biggest kind of theatre cities in the world. And we have over 3 million users now and have sold over $100 million in sales. So yay us. Here are some of the things that we did to get there. The first thing that we did is think about the problem. We are here as marketeers to solve a problem. Ultimately, that's our job. And that problem shouldn't just be a customer problem. Of course, you need a customer problem first, otherwise people aren't going to use your product. But if you can also solve a market problem, it will help you greatly. The market problem that we have within theatre is that theatre producers today are not connecting with the next generation, apart from Lin-Manuel Miranda, who wrote that little musical, Hamilton. Anybody heard of it? No? No one heard of Hamilton? Okay. Oh, yeah, great. Thank you. Saved me. So apart from him, who isn't connecting with you guys, but is definitely connecting with the younger generation, these guys have got a major problem. Because of that problem, there is a perception also of theatre being an occasional event, so something that you might take your mum to when she's in town, or something that you might do for someone's birthday. It's not really an everyday entertainment option. Also, there is a lack of awareness of what kind of products are out there in the market, what kind of theatre is available to see. So that leads to a very polarising opinion where people really say, oh, I don't like the theatre because I don't like musicals, or I don't like the theatre because I'm not a fan of Shakespeare. When actually there's a huge amount of theatre going on every day in many of the major cities around the world. So those are basically our problems. We are solving that market problem first to help solve our consumer problems. And we're solving the consumer problems by removing barriers to purchase. Two of the biggest barriers to buying theatre or going to the theatre is either price or the logistics around actually going there. You know, not many things nowadays are done on a set time. Normally we do things when we want. We watch that show that we love, Game of Thrones, when we want, right? On catch up. Theatre, you can't do on catch up. So we're removing that barrier by trying to allow people to buy tickets within 30 seconds from their mobile. We are also providing accessible pricing. So the first barrier is pricing. It's a real problem, the perception of overpriced theatre tickets, when actually a lot of theatre is completely affordable. It's just that those prices aren't accessible. We're also raising awareness using tech-native channels. So that's how to speak to, obviously, the younger generation today. So those 30% of theatre tickets that go unsold every year on the West End, and Broadway isn't doing much better, by the way, it's 20% on Broadway, we're tackling. That's our market. It's there. It's waiting for us to take it and sell it for them. So there's the opportunity. So how do we go about doing this? Starting off by building a marketing team around the problem. So we've built our marketing team to address growth and retention directly in a specialized format, but we've mixed those specialists with holistic marketeers who can pull together a through story. So here are our specialists up the top, and then you've got myself and the rest of the holistic marketeers at the bottom who take all of the messaging that they create for us and build it into a customer journey for our customers, so it's holistic and it feels like they're actually being told a story and we're having a conversation. Anybody seen this before? Hands up. Andy Cavell? Yes, great, brilliant, lots of people. Mobile Growth Stack, guys, if you haven't seen it before, do look it up, he's a great guy. The idea of this stack is really to give you guys an idea of all of the places that can help you with growth. So lazy marketers stay up here in the channels. They might wander down over here somewhere, they might look at PR, they might look at ASO. But real hardcore growth marketeers think about all of these things. So this is your checklist, okay? Andy Carvel actually says one thing that you should do is not just use this exactly. You should take it and build it around your business and what your business needs are based on what your consumer needs are. And so we took that and built ourselves a communication stack. So again, all that hard work that our specialists are doing in UA, in retention, in ASO, all of those things, what we do as holistic marketers is ensure that those channels are stacked correctly and those messages are given to our customers again in a holistic manner so that they can make it a lot stickier and they're more likely to get that message after they've seen it 3 or 4 times because it's a consistent message, right? It sounds obvious, but you'll be surprised how many people don't do this. It's terrifying. Also, the nice thing about stacking your communications is that you will find a higher yield of return for your owned and earned channels. And let's face it, as startups, that's what we need, the cheapest channel possible, okay? So, speaking about cheap channels, I'm sure you guys have seen research around that talks about excluding personal research. The peer recommendation is the #1 decision maker, influencer across the board. So organic word of mouth is your most important tool, okay? How to approach this, we've already actually spoken, Ryan already spoke about this already, and he gave a couple of examples of how to approach this by using influencers. We've also done the similar things. We've actually built out programs as well for ambassadors. So we built a program where we have 6 young culture lovers who are either in higher education or about to leave higher education. And we give them the opportunity to be Today Ticks ambassadors for a year. It's a reciprocal program, and that's the most important thing with these. If you want to get something out of it, it has to be a give and take situation, like any relationship, right? The idea is that they get to go to the theatre for free. We introduce them to casting directors, to producers, to people who they would never really be able to get to be introduced to unless they have personal connections. And in return, they talk about us on social, they create content for us, they create video content, write blogs, all of these great things. And by the end of the year, we've got this whole suite of content that we haven't had to pay for in-house via our own resources. And these guys, by the end of the year, have career connections, they've got once-in-a-lifetime opportunities, they've got content for their own influencer network as well. So it's very much a reciprocal scenario. Also, refer a friend schemes. They're really easy to set up. If you download Today Ticks, you'll get a refer a friend code that's unique to you. If you say to your mum, best mate, wife, husband, whoever, when they first buy their first purchase with us, use my code, you'll get £10 off. Once they've been to the theatre, you then get £10 off as well. Simple, so easy to build, but makes a huge difference. Plus it rewards loyalty at the same time. So because of these things and many more, we have managed to achieve 80% of our installs are organic. So that's our acquisitions, 80% of them are organic, which is really unheard of nowadays. It's a really hard number to get to, guys. Also a little psst. All of the subjects that you see today in our new brand, we relaunched our brand in May, they are all up-and-coming performers who were happy to take part in our photo shoot and in our marketing campaign in return for a charity donation to their chosen arts charity. And also they get get exposure. Their names are actually on our advertising. If you go on the tube, you've probably seen some of our advertising already. And their faces, are 6 foot high all over the tube. So producers every day are seeing them. So built-in brand ambassadors. Thanks very much. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about brand ambassadors and growing that way. Other areas of free growth that you can think about, most importantly, is your product. So building your product around growth is key. It's the easiest thing that you can do. It's hard to come up with a concept that meets your market need, but if you can do that, then your product will work even harder for you. Scaling performance networks in the UK is phenomenally hard. I'm sure there are lots of performance networks in here who want to scream at me right now. But if you are tightly geolocated, and so for instance, we have to target in and around London within 60 miles of London in order for us to actually make our marketing figures work for us, you cap out really quickly. So you need some other avenues of growth outside of just performance marketing and traditional marketing as well. So building your product to assist with that UA through gamification and exclusive deals, which I'll talk you through in a minute, will pay off dividends. Better still, if you can build those products to fulfill a shortfall in demand within the market, your suppliers will offer you those exclusive offers. They will come to you and say, let's work together on this. So even better for your customers. So it's a great example. It's a great experience for your customers. Your suppliers are having a brilliant time because they're cleaning up their shortfall in demand, sorry. And you're acquiring new customers all at the same time, who you're looking after because you're rewarding at the same time as well. So these are our two big UA products. The first one is mobile lottery tickets. So the idea here is that exclusively with TodayTix, you can get £15 tickets with Dream Girls, for instance, one of our lottery partners, within the stalls. So those tickets are normally £80 a pop. With us, if you enter our daily lottery, you can win tickets, £15 tickets for that evening's performance. And if you share the fact that you've entered via either Twitter or Facebook or both, you get an extra entry for each share, up to 2. So there, not only are we filling a space in demand, so it shows those seats would otherwise go dark, so i.e. dead, it's not sold. Producers lose money. So it's better for the producers to sell them to us at £15 on the day than to not sell them at all, because they're not going to be able to fill them themselves from their box office on the day. They don't have a high enough footfall. The customer's getting something. They're getting tickets that they can actually afford. If you're thinking about 24-year-olds, oh, light's gone out. If you think about 24-year-olds, they can't afford £70, £80 a pop per ticket. Plus the show's getting some exposure, and so are we, obviously. So that's our ticket lotteries. Similar idea with our rush tickets, apart from the fact that these are drawn, and this is a prize draw in the afternoon. Our rush tickets at 10 o'clock in the morning, you can go into the app and literally the first come, first served basis, get exclusive tickets to the likes of Hamlet, very hot show at the moment, sold out actually, so you can only get tickets through us for £15. All we ask customers to do in return for us offering that on the day, and again, they're seeing the show that day as well, is that they unlock the Rush program. The only way that you can unlock the Rush program is sharing it on your social. So already, we've got brilliant offer. We've got a reason to register with us. We've got a reason to share and talk about TodayTix. And all of those things, we're going to give you something in return, okay? After launching these two products, our install to registration rate quadrupled overnight because of these products, okay? So not only is it a great UA tool, but it pushes people further down the funnel. So talking about pushing people further down the funnel, onboarding. Obviously, as I've just demonstrated with our tools, we need to get people to register as quickly as possible. Everybody knows that. We need to get people to purchase as quickly as possible. However, whenever I go to events like this, I always hear terrifying stats from marketeers, especially people who are new to the startup world or new to the mobile world, where they're saying, if I don't get somebody to buy with me within the first day, that's it, they're lost forever. Sorry, it's just not true. It's just not true. You need to think about what your product is. You need to think about your product, your place, your price, okay? If someone's gonna spend £80 on a pair of tickets, I'm pretty sure they're gonna want to ring their friend. Do you want to come to the theatre with me tonight? Yes, are you free? No? I don't know. He doesn't want to come. I want to ring him. I want to ask him, do you want to come to the theatre? Do you even like theatre? Do you want to see the show that I want to see? Are you happy with this price point? That's a conversation that might happen over 2 days. So let's be realistic. These kind of stats that are put out by the likes of Appboy, who we use, by the way, I'm a fan of, and Aptitude and all these kind of guys are great, but you've got to remember they're blended. So they include games, and games, absolutely. If you don't get someone to play your game as soon as they download it, I completely agree, you've probably lost them. Commerce, it's different. Manage your expectations. So do that by customizing them. Understand your critical points. These are our critical events, and these are our timelines around them. So if we haven't got someone to register within 3 days, alarm bells start going off. 3 days though, not the first day, okay? If they haven't purchased within the first 7 days, we probably have lost them. By day 14, we need to inspire them to come and talk to us again. Have they had a good time? Can you rate the show? Great, you entered one of our lotteries. Did you know about this other thing that we're doing? We know that you're within this price bracket, or that you like this type of theatre. Let's start re-engaging you via segmentation. And then by day 21, we need to push them back through into a second purchase. And that's our critical event. We've managed our expectations. If we hadn't, and we said, by day one, if you don't purchase with us, you're lost forever, we're missing out a whole group of people and a whole market, and we could really just shut up shop and go home. Okay? So talking about pushing people into their second purchase, solid onboarding is fantastic. You absolutely need that first, obviously. But your second purchase will also depend, again, on your product, your price, your place. So you need to think about your customer mindset and how can you change your customer. For us, it's how do we change customers' mindset from thinking about theatre from an occasional event, and we might have got you because it was an occasional event, and then realising that actually this is an affordable thing. It's cheaper to go to the theatre in some cases than it is to go to the cinema. That's true. So it's that kind of education. That mindset doesn't change overnight. So just manage that. Changing that mindset, however, comes between an understanding of when to shout an idea at your customer and tell them, quick, we've got £15 tickets for this hot show that you will never be able to see again. So come, this is the only week that we're going to do it. When to have a conversation with them. So to segment, hey, you saw this show, you might like this show. There's a good rate. It's lasting for X amount of time. And then when to lightly nudge. So talking to them within content channels and engaging them into other things that they might be interested in, the conversation around theatre in general. Customer service is part of your marketing team. Structurally, it might not be within the business. Line management-wise, it might not be within the business. However, you must talk to them. They will give you customer insights that are so valuable that you don't have to pay a consultant to then, £50,000 to then tell you what your customers think, because you pay them every day. Use them well. Also train them well to understand that their job is to spread positive word of mouth. So every time somebody rings them with a problem, that's great. You want those people to ring you. What you don't want is for them to sit quietly, stew, delete your app, and then tell everybody how crap it is. Excuse my language. You want them to ring you, complain, so that you can understand the problem, fix it for them, and then thank them for being a loyal customer, so that they can go and tell their friends and family the brilliant customer service that they had, okay? And then lastly, know your market, not just your marketing. Lots of marketeers base their seasonal fluctuations on assumptions. You need to learn about the supply of your business, so talk to your trading team, work with them, understand when big crossovers are happening in the market, when supply is low, when supply is high, but customer mindset and customer demand is low. It sounds so obvious, but people don't get to know not enough marketeers get to know their trading teams and don't work with them on a daily basis. So after you've figured out all of this stuff, you can then ask yourselves, what's a reasonable expectation for my retention program? Is it 30%? If you can retain 30% or plus of your customers, you're doing a good job. We retain 33, just saying. And then the last thing, I promised you this slide at the beginning. This is an app promotion summit, but my God, if you work in commerce, get a bloody website. I'm not kidding. You'll be surprised how many commerce apps don't get a website. We left it so late. We left it 3 years. So that was live 3 years in New York, live 1 year in London, before we actually got a transacting website. I'm not talking about content website. I'm not talking about press website. I'm talking about transacting websites. And just by doing that, we have opened up our paths to purchase tremendously. People sometimes don't want to download an app. We have to get over that problem. We have to just get over ourselves. Also, don't be afraid to change and pivot your business model. As long as you're not changing it to the point where it's unrecognizable to consumers. We started off app only, 7 days booking only. We've now changed this year to being transacting website, sorry, last year to transacting website, and this year to 30 days out. And that's because the demand was there. Initially, what we wanted is to push spontaneity and to push people, push a younger generation into our product. Now that we've done that, we want to get to mass market, and you can only scale by speaking to the mass market, and you've got to give them what they want. And then obviously, it gives you a better platform to really distribute your content properly, because yes, content is king, but distribution is queen. And I'm sure you guys have heard that phrase a lot over the last couple of years, but it's true. You're spending a resource on a person or two people or whatever, how many people it is, to create all this wonderful content for you. And if you're not building affiliate and content partnerships because you don't have a decent website, then a decent platform to share all of that with, then you're not using it. It's a wasted resource. And that's me, guys. Thanks so much for your time. £10 off if you download the app and use code APS17. Thanks.